as we're celebrating, in a sense, peace and unity with Europe this morning, May 9th. They are celebrating, that is Europe and the EU. Europe Day today, the EU celebrates 60 years. Wow. Peace and Unity Day, May 9th. And this morning, to talk to us more about this is actually the ambassador, Aad Biesebroek, who is the head of the delegation. And just to give you some idea of who he is, basically, he was appointed to the EU ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago September 1st, 2016. So he is actually the first resident EU ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago since 2002. So let me welcome you to Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you. How has it been so far?
It's been a good ride, 8 months. Trinidad and Tobago is a lovely country, beautiful, nice people. So we're really enjoying our stay here.
Good to have you with since 2002, so it's been a while. We need one. We need you. Now, today it's Europe Day, and it's actually an annual celebration of peace and unity in Europe. Tell us about this.
Well, the idea about the creation of the European Union came already in the late 40s, 1950, when Robert Schuman gave a speech in which he called on Europe to come together. And that culminated in the Treaty of Rome that was signed in 1957, 60 years ago, which created the European communities. And from that period on, past 60 years, we've been building on Europe. And I think if you look at what we have achieved, there's quite a lot to be proud of. We're looking at enlargement. The European Union offers opportunities to neighboring countries that aspire to become a member. And if you look at some of the success stories, take Ireland, for instance. Joined in 1973, it was a poor country, had a mono economy based on agriculture, and its relations were linked to the UK. It was poor, and now it's called the Celtic Tiger because its economy is doing so well. And that is to a large extent due to its membership of the European Union, allowing it to grow and trade with other nations. Poland is another example, which joined in 2004, and which saw in a period of 8 years' time grow its economy by 46%. And again, thanks to the opportunities that are offered under the European Union.
How is it celebrated in Europe, Europe Day? What's done?
Well, in Europe, I think if you look at the institutions in Brussels, they open the institutions for people to come and see how the officials in the institutions work. We're encouraging all the delegations across the world to bring the message also to third countries, what Europe is for, what it has achieved. So there are quite a lot of celebrations going on around the world.
Okay, Brexit. That's something that's very important to Europe. What will be the vision for the EU after Brexit?
Well, I think the 27 leaders of the European Union recently said that they are firmly committed to continue to build Europe, to continue to work together, because they believe that it is through partnership and collaboration that we can create prosperity. And that is what they will be working on over the coming years. Well, it is clear there are also some challenges. It's not always easy, and sometimes you have to make compromises. I think we need to communicate a little bit better also about those concerns and the challenges. And we need to see what we can do to address some of the citizens' concerns, because they are legitimate as well. So over the coming months, the EU will be working on defining some scenarios to see how we can work better together in the future. But as a solid bloc of 27 member states.
Yes, and 27 countries really
and 27
affected.
countries, yeah.
All right, so now 41 years of the EU in Trinidad and Tobago. How does the EU intend to continue partnering with Trinidad and Tobago, and some areas of cooperation that have taken place so far?
Yeah, well, over the past 40 years, we've been active in quite a number of areas. We have been strongly involved in the sugar sector reform. Trinidad decided at a certain point in time that the industry was no longer competitive, and they said we want to move out of sugar into different areas of the economy, and we've accompanied that process, promoting investments in other parts of the agricultural sector. We've been working together with the government on tertiary education reform And I think in the course of that period, when we accompanied the process, you could see that enrollment in tertiary education, non-university tertiary education, grew from 40% to 60%. We have contributed to some infrastructure in the country. The sports center in Central TT was constructed with EU funds. So there's been a wide range of areas in which we have been active. But we're also working together on climate change. We want to work together on renewable energy. We're discussing issues like human rights. We're working very closely together with civil society organizations that are active in that field, the LGBTI community. But we're also supporting advocacy work among NGOs that are supportive of the abolition of the death penalty. So we are involved in a wide range of areas.
You know, you mentioned the abolition of the death penalty, and right now so many people are actually calling for it to be, to come back. So what about diversification of the Trinidad and Tobago economy? Has that come up in discussion at all?
Yes, definitely. It's something that we've been discussing and supporting the government with in the past as well. We promoted the competitiveness of the economy, and already mentioned the sugar sector reform, which was also looking at diversification of the economy. But at the moment, the government is developing an innovation policy, trying to strengthen, again, competitiveness, export opportunities. And we are keen to work with the government in that area. So as soon as the policy is adopted, and I understand that it's going to be relatively soon, we will be ready to support the government with an €8 million package to start the implementation of the innovation policy. We understand government is looking again at agriculture, at renewable energy, and those are areas where we can provide support.
What about crime and security?
Crime and security is another important area. I think there's a lot of concern. We've seen homicide rate increase, criminality is increasing, and we understand the government is concerned, the citizens are concerned. So we have been discussing with the government whether there's a possibility for us to support them, for instance, in strengthening the judicial sector. There's some money available under the regional program, funds that are managed by CARIFORUM. And we have been discussing the possibility of making some of those funds available for Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, and Suriname, to strengthen the efficiency of the judiciary, to trying to reduce the caseload and ease the pressure on the prisons, and accelerate the court cases. And that should help also reduce criminality over time.
Now, you mentioned the judicial system. How is it different or similar to what we've got here to what Europe has? How would you say it's different or similar?
Well, the judicial system in Europe is not unique because you have the Anglo-Saxon system and you have the Roman system. I'm from the Netherlands, where we have the Roman system. And for instance, we don't have jury trials. And what I can observe is that jury trials take much more time than non-jury trials. So if you want to improve the efficiency of the system, and I think that is important, because the more efficient your judiciary functions, people see that people that have committed crimes are taken to court and are convicted, they gain more trust in the system. So by abolishing jury systems, you might create an efficiency. And I know the Chief of Justice has mentioned the same thing recently. I don't say that this is what should happen, but it's clear that this particular type of system has some inefficiencies that can be looked at. Yeah.
All right. The European Film Festival.
Yeah.
Something of entertainment now that's going to be taking place. It's part of Europe Month as well, the celebration, and it's coming to Movie Town in Trinidad and Tobago. Yep. How do you feel about that? And you're seeing all these European films, and it's something that we've done for quite a few years here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, indeed, it's been running for 21 years, and they tell me it's been the longest running film festival in the country, so we're very proud of that. And the festival is ongoing. It's on in Movie Town as we speak. It will start in Tobago tomorrow. I think it is a must-see. We brought, I think, 29 films, movies, with an enormous variety in terms of themes and type of movies. There's action, there's drama, there's comedy. And I've seen 3 films already so far,
Wow.
and all 3 were really brilliant. And quite interesting, one of the films I saw was Dutch, and I'm a Dutch
Ooh.
national, and it's a historic movie, and it taught me something about the Dutch history that I was not fully familiar with. So it's something that people can learn from as well. And in addition, it was beautifully filmed and acted. It is really, really worth visiting.
And isn't it ironic that you had to come to Trinidad and Tobago to see this, to learn about your own country?
It is true. I was surprised as well. But it shows the depth of the film industry and the beauty it brings, and you know, the wealth of information and entertainment. So yes, it's definitely a recommendation. You know, people should go and see. It's really worthwhile.
Oh gosh, thank you so much for coming this morning and speaking with us, Ambassador. It's been a pleasure. Ambassador Aad Biesebroek, the head of the EU delegation here in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course celebrating Europe Day in Trinidad and Tobago as well today, May 9th. Happy Europe Day to you.
Thank you very much.
Can you say it in Dutch for me?
Het was een plezier om hier te zijn.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.